everyone, I'm Genesis.
I'm Junebug.
And this is...
Let's see how this goes. Oh, he wants to sit closer to me. Oh.
Get a little closer. Hey, baby. So today we're going to talk about how my friends and family handled being in an age gap.
Us being in the age gap relationship.
Yes. You were part of it.
Yes. I didn't know if... Never mind. It sounded weird in my head. But we noticed the age gap videos are the most popular. So I guess we're going to crank more out, I guess. That's what you guys like.
Yeah. So, one of the things I can think of to talk about. Granted, I don't have a bunch to say on the subject, but...
And the next video will be how my family reacted. Mm-hmm. Now that's the tea.
I think her video is going to be a little more exciting than mine.
And longer. Oh, in case you didn't know, even though it's our most popular video, which doesn't say much, we're not bragging. We have a 12-year age gap. He's older.
It's hard to tell, I know.
Well, anyway, tell us, Genesis, were you worried about telling your family members?
Yes.
You were?
A little bit.
Okay.
Just, I don't know, it felt at the time a little, I guess, uncomfortable dating somebody that's, freshly 18,
Wasn't that fresh?
I say not freshly, but I mean, you were still 18, so. The first person I talked to was my sister.
And no, he's not drinking beer, it's soda.
Yeah, so new kind of root beer. I do like trying root beers, and this is Sprecher. It's good stuff.
I just want to make sure people know you ain't drinking beer during these.
I mean, sometimes I'm drinking. Not often.
So, were you worried more about your family being judgmental, or your friends, or both?
Family. Well, I was more worried about, I guess, what my mom would have to say, because I feel like out of everybody, she might have been the least supportive, I guess would be the best way to say it. I knew my friends would be pretty supportive, like, you've got a good head on your shoulders, like, if you feel comfortable pursuing this, and, she's comfortable for you pursuing it, then, go for it. Out of everybody that I was considering talking to, my mom was going to be the one that I was most hesitant to. My sister was the first one that I went to because I'm pretty close with my sister. If I'm having a moral dilemma about something, then she's usually, other than Junebug, of course, she's usually the first one that I'm going to.
If it's about Junebug, you can't go to Junebug.
That's true. Yeah, something like that. Then my sister, she's 2 years older than I am, and since we grew up together, we got closer when she moved away for college, and ever since then, like, she's mostly been my go-to person. Like, I need advice, I need help on something, and
mine is me.
Yes, mine is too now.
Don't worry, guys.
So once she was like, the thing that she said that convinced me to really go for it was like, age is nothing that we can control. Like, you can't control when you're born, you can't control when she was born. You can't fault her for something that's not her fault in any way, shape, or form. So once she said that, I was like, that's the best point I feel like she could make. And I was like, thank you for your support. I hate the phrase age is just a number, but...
And so they reacted well, basically?
Yeah. She was all for it. I got in touch with my two friends, and they were super close. They pretty much said the same thing, like, my father doesn't really care.
In the sweetest way.
Yeah, I love my dad. He just, he doesn't interfere with my life at all. He's just like, you do your own thing. He's like, I love you, son.
Go live your life.
Yeah, pretty much that's how he is. So I knew he wouldn't care one way or the other, and actually, him and my mom have a bit of an age gap, so I feel like he would understand too.
Yeah. So was she as bad as you anticipated?
No, she was more supporting than I originally expected. Granted, I didn't think she'd be like, no, that wasn't the case. Don't do it.
Stop it. Yeah.
What are you doing?
No son of mine will take this lead.
No, she said pretty much the same thing everybody else was saying. I think she was the last person I talked to, other than my dad, just because I knew he wasn't going to care.
You talked to your peeps a lot before we started really hanging out. Mm-hmm. Really.
Yeah,
hanging out.
I mean, at the start of the relationship, it felt a little uncomfortable. Again, like being freshly 18, I just, age gap was something that, I won't say it bothered me, but it's something I couldn't, like, push in the back of my head at first, like, ignore. But then,
It's pretty easy for me.
well, when you look like this.
I was saying when other people are like, they'll say, "Oh, that's my boyfriend," or "That's my husband," fiance. That's him with one e. They just say that's like my person. They don't say that's my 25-year-old person. That's my this old person.
Yeah.
They just say that's my person.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw you, I'm not like that's my
30-something.
Yeah. I was like that's my boyfriend, fiance, not right now.
Yeah, future fiance and probably husband.
Probably husband.
Well, I mean, so far everything's going according to plan.
Well, that's how I kind of saw it. I'm like, and I'm not. And when I talk about you, like to other people, I'm not necessarily saying my 30-year-old boyfriend. I just say me, my boyfriend. So it's easier for me in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I'm talking about you, like,
You don't say my 21-year-old fiance.
yeah, usually the age isn't brought up in the conversation.
Yeah. Do you think that if you hadn't told them or talked to them about the age gap and we just started dating, and you told them you were dating someone, do you think they would have automatically asked, well, how old is she? Because that was like the number one question I got was, well, how old is he?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's one of the standard questions when you enter a relationship. Like, where's she from? How old is she? Like, do they have any?
There's like no other questions they ask him. It's
Really?
just how old is he?
Oh.
Does he have a job?
No. I mean, if one of my friends told me that, they were dating a woman, that's probably one of the questions I would ask.
I would ask where you met. What's her name?
Well, I mean, those are typical questions I feel like you'd ask. And like how old is she?
I only asked because like they didn't like what's his name? Where's he from? Just and how old is he?
Oh.
Passive aggressively. That could also be a double standard.
I feel like it more likely is because it was definitely more prominent on your side of the family than it was for mine.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Later.
Because when I called and talked to my friends and family, they're like, "Well, I mean, this is good. Like, why are you asking? Like, why you looking for permission?" Like, no, the reason I'm calling is she's a bit younger.
Why?
Yeah. Oh, do you have any other questions that you might? Do you have any questions you have?
Have you had any like negative feedback, I guess, or backlash to the age gap from anyone?
No.
Oh, just me. Okay. I love it.
No.
It's great.
I have not, out of any of my friends or family, be like, "What are you doing there?"
Not necessarily people you're related to, but anybody. Like someone like at work or you're an acquaintance with.
No, I haven't gotten anything like that.
Just me. I love double standards.
Her spoiler, her family was not a fan of this guy.
No, I don't know. I think you're great. No. I think that's all the questions I had since your experience was just so wonderful.
I told you, I warned everybody at the start of the video it was going to be boring because there was just not much to say. Everybody was pretty cool with it. And then everybody liked her when I introduced her.
Well, I'm wonderful.
See?
I'm joking. I don't think I'm wonderful. That was one of the reasons I wanted to start the channel was raise awareness for the age gap. But then also, it's very double standardy. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. It's not always, like, I'm sure not every older guy in the relationship has had a flawless experience.
Right.
Especially if it's a larger age gap.
Yeah, and
and not every younger one has had all the grievances.
Right.
I'm sure some of them was just like, okay.
So you'll have to beg my forgiveness. I'm definitely ignorant when it comes to age gaps, just because I
didn't really know much until we got together.
Yeah, she actually done some research. I was just like, I don't really care enough to get into research. So like I'm very much expecting our situation not to be the typical.
I mean, there's lots of things that do align.
Yeah.
Like with the pros and cons.
Yep.
Which both hit 90, and I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah. So if your relationship hasn't been as smooth sailing as ours, then I'm sorry it's been that way.
I can relate to you.
Yes, I wish the best for people. If you genuinely think you found your person and you're both madly in love, and things haven't been as smooth sailing as ours, then hang in there. I really hope you guys. I hope things get better. I guess.
Also, spoiler alert for next week. None of the crap was from his family. It's not like they were mistreating me. They're lovely to me. I hope people will realize like, oh, they didn't give him crap, but they gave her crap.
Yeah.
Like from your side of the family, no.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like.
People like to vroom vroom in the nice weather.
They do.
Would you like to go for a ride? Vroom vroom. That's how people ride motorcycles.
Do you have anything else?
No, just vroom vroom.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Goodbye. Vroom vroom. May I please date the lady?
She is a soda pretty.
I thought you said she is soda.
Soda.